Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin.
Laurie, how are you?
I'm very sad and depressed.
And right, because now you would like a new writing job. You would like $1 million in stand-up work or a TV show. And then you would also like this to make a great deal of money, the podcast that we do together.
Well, you're reaching for the stars, and I'm happy for the moon, which also seems out of reach.
Wait, you think I'm reaching? Wait, what am I doing? What
You want
do
everything, the stars, and I'm saying if I even just got the moon, which is a lot closer, I'd be happy.
I, just so you know,
Mhm.
feel like I'm on the moon.
I think you are.
Yeah, so I think that we're both on the moon. You don't feel like you're on the moon.
I fell off the moon.
You feel like you're no longer on the moon and you're reaching for the moon.
Yes.
This
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
beautiful This is going to be a beautiful parable for those who are listening. Welcome to the Jackie and Laurie Show. I'm Jackie Cation.
Hi, I'm the other one.
Laurie Kilmartin.
I'm honestly, I wanted to quit this podcast this weekend.
Right. Well, you started it. So I guess
why not end it?
You get to be the one. But
every time I run it through my head, I'm like, what's the point? You know, like you and we're friends now. We could have conversations whenever we want. We don't have to say now. Save it for the pod. Don't give me eye contact. I don't want to I don't want to be in the same hemisphere as you because we have a podcast tomorrow.
We have moved slightly past that. I will say that 6 years later, we have definitely moved past the, hey, don't talk to me.
Right.
And we do talk off camera oftentimes.
Yeah.
I know in your heart that I do the Dork Forest, right?
Yeah.
So my purposes for doing a podcast have always been whatever they are. Right. I mean, it drives more people to our shows,
mm-hmm.
and it makes some money.
Grocery money.
We
literally
do not
groceries.
That's a lot of groceries you're spending. I think
not even all the groceries. If I get a lot of Tillamook cheese that month, and
it's because you get that monthly fish thing, which which you only get.
Oh, I don't even include that as groceries. That I'm talking just going to.
How are you spending that much money on groceries?
I
you have a teenage boy.
Who
has a hollow leg. Yes.
Minimum 4,000 calories a day, multiple doubles of every meal, and they're not like a big meal and a mealette. It's nonstop.
Right. Right.
And so I'm feeding what would normally be 4 people on one non-income. So,
right.
Yeah, it's a lot of groceries.
Okay.
Plus I like
so. I don't think it's your fruit costs, but I see. But I will say that the money that we do make,
mm-hmm.
and then we have employed several people, Kyle being one of them. Other people giving them supplemental, everybody we employ at supplemental income, who does our clips and stuff. But I don't have any defense of it. It takes us about an hour and a half every week.
It does.
And it's grocery money for the month.
It is after 6 years.
Would you like it to? I mean, the thing is we could literally start naming names and become those shitbag. We might get doxxed in the interim, but we would probably get a lot of attention.
I don't want that kind. That's not my person.
No, me neither. I don't want to either. I would like to make a Scrooge McDuck pile of money. Yes, I would like to roll around in gold doubloons, but I think we're making an okay amount of money for the fun that I have doing it. But that's me.
Well, here's what was really disappointing is I got my album sales.
Right. I just emailed him and told him I want my album back. And I said, I could either hire a lawyer or you could just do this.
I mean,
and I haven't heard back, but I emailed him on a Sunday morning, like
okay.
the asshole that I am. Because that's when you send the veils, Gilmartin.
Oh, that's right.
I'm available.
I don't know. I assume your sales were higher. The amounts you sold were higher than mine because you have a bigger presence on all media.
I just noticed that they've removed absolutely everything off of Pandora of mine.
Oh my God.
Even the one I self-published back in 99. Yeah.
What a fuck up.
It's a true fuck up. And if I had 10 years of enough money to live on, I might stick with the spoken giants, but I don't. Right. So
but that's not even, yeah, that's like a separate fuck up.
No, that's why they took everything off.
Yeah.
When I signed with 800 Pound Gorilla, I was told that I was going to make, that I should be making about 10 grand a month because I have 5 albums. Fuck. I am not high. And, so, but I can't.
How did you
I live indoors.
Did you sell a lot of staycation?
I don't even know how you checked. I don't.
If you can download the royalty statement from the website.
From 800 Pound Gorilla's website?
Yeah, the payment hub thing.
Oh God, I don't even know what that is. So I assume not. That's what that is. Okay.
Here's what's upsetting to me is that I assumed our listeners would buy our albums. And I don't know what your sales are like, but mine add up to about less than 10% of our weekly listeners actually spent $10 on a comedy album. And that has led me to continue to go, what's the point? What the fuck? Like, I'm okay with us having a niche podcast. Okay. Every once in a while, I hope when we do things, all of our niche listeners will come through, and they didn't. And so why are we doing this? We can have these conversations off mic. We can just be friends off mic. We don't have to scurry like little rats every Sunday and tell our loved ones, oh, I can't because I have to do a podcast for people who don't even buy a $10 comedy album. I don't know. That's the feeling I have right now.
That's the story you're telling yourself. Yeah, I get it.
Well, I don't know. That's the evidence I'm looking at. It's been out 10 months and we finally got the amount of downloads, and it's like, I could have done this myself.
Well, and it turns out we should have. But
I mean, even I'm just talking about the people that are listening.
You're disappointed at our 4,000 listeners, right? You're disappointed.
4 to 5. Yeah, extremely disappointed. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And we've had this conversation before. A lot of them are features who make, 0.1% of what we make.
Let's say half. Where's the other half? I don't think
so. You didn't. We neither, and I don't know because I don't know either. I can't find that portal. But you didn't sell 2,000 albums.
No.
Okay.
And if this is just a niche podcast for other comedians, let's just have that conversation at a comedy festival and not have to drag you and me to a Zoom meeting for an hour a week.
Besides this
weekend for 6 straight years.
Besides this conversation right here,
right?
I've been having a great time.
Me too.
So
but I will tell you that I am so pissed about the lack of like we accept a lot of things we're not going to make a lot of money on, including this podcast, because we don't have guests and we only talk about comedy, etc.
Right.
All right. And then in the world of stand-up, there's not a lot of money either. There's never we're not part of the podcast comedy world that has
we're not the 10,000
paying right. So we just don't have that. But I thought at least we would have our devoted listeners
Right.
buy a fucking $10 album. That's what I thought.
Right. Well, I mean, to some extent, I mean, the only reasons I could think that they didn't, because they should, and I know that most of them have heard it, is because it was available streaming. And it was but and we told, we didn't emphasize quite this much, but we can right now, if you have not spent $9.99 on the damn album, go to Apple Music or go to Amazon Music and buy it, because it's literally it's literally $9.99. It's not that big of a deal.
Like, I can understand why
streaming. I haven't bought an album. Like, I have Amazon Prime because I'm 100 years old and I don't have like Apple Music, but I occasionally buy the albums, but I usually, because I pay, I believe $7 a month, I get them, I can stream them for free. And every time it streams, it pays somebody. And I'm sure that's exactly what everyone else is thinking. So every album I listen to a lot.
Tell them that that's not the case.
Well, we're telling them again. So
you know what, you no matter, it's when I thought I was like, I got no money. I still owe 800-pound gorilla $800. I'm not even.
I spent 25 grand on a video that they can put out, that they can have for 5 years. And I signed, before I knew about the Spoken Giants thing, I signed away Horcrux to them on YouTube as well for 5 years.
Fucking God.
And I emailed Ryan this morning and I was like, man, you guys can keep the videos because you are distributing them like you promised, but you aren't distributing the album like you promised. So I would like my album back, And so now I'm glad I ordered those 300 CDs, but I only have 300 of them. But granted, I still have 250 in my garage. I mean, I haven't sold that many DVDs, so it's not, I mean, stand-up comedy, at this point, 35 years in, right? One would imagine that we would be making, and I think what's truly annoying is the people who are.
Yes. Yeah.
That's where it makes me, you're like, fine, you want me to make enemies of these people? I guess I will. And then I'm like, but I don't wanna.
Right.
I don't want their douchey, like, our fan base are decent people. They're just people who they like comedy, they like it dark, they like it smart, they like it weird, right? So they're fans of us, they're fans of Bamford, they're fans of Laura House, they're fans of 100 great comics, and possibly 6 years of comic of the week, weird comics. But it's not, I don't want to be Joe Rogan. I don't want to be Jimmy Dore.
No.
I don't even want to be Mark Maron. The Dork Forest, it's when people are like, well, wouldn't you want to interview Obama? I'm like, not about the things that Mark wants to talk to Obama about are mostly about Mark. And as much as I love Mark,
you wouldn't like to sit down with a former president and ask him his thoughts
what he thinks about me? No.
Come on.
I don't.
I would say, did you buy Corset or did you stream it, you fucking fuck?
I want to
download it right now and make all of his Secret Service agents download it.
I'm like, why do you like Batman over Superman? That's a question that I would want to ask him. I'm like, why do you like DC more than Marvel? Why do you like Marvel more than that's what I like about the Dork Forest, is that I'm not talking to everybody about their fucking career.
Right.
And so I don't want to be any of those guys, but I wish, and I completely 100% agree with you, that what this was beloved by 8 billion people. Right. At $1 a piece. Mm-hmm. Because then maybe I can do all kinds of things, including fix the homeless problem in my neighborhood. But
Yes.
but whatever. I mean, I get it.
I know. I'm always like, I'll buy if I were to win the lottery. I've already given up on my career. If this is the lotto tickets, I would like make sure I'm safe, have a little bit, put for my son, and then buy houses and then make them Section 8 and put families in them.
Right. Well, and here's the thing is I was talking to somebody and they said, there's and what we're not doing is we're not like compromising all of our morals and our fan base to get that money, because the thing is you could say, well, I'm going to use all that money for good, so I'm going to just cheat and lie this one time because I just need to get there, right? I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lie to people or scare people to make a shit ton of money so that I can help the homeless.
Right.
That is a terrible path
at that point. Yeah.
Right. Because by the time I get there, I'm like, no, it turns out I want a reflecting pool or some damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I did tell my dad, oh, no, it's for you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So to me, I mean, I love talking to you.
Yeah.
But I had higher hopes, way higher hopes for what I thought our tiny fan base was going to be doing in terms of buying our albums. Again, I don't know about yours, but I know with me, it's just not good. And I can't believe a year out, I still owe a record company. I have a podcast with 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 listeners, and I still owe a record company a year later, $800. That's so frustrating, infuriating. And I feel like, a lot of those podcasts that make a ton of money.
Oh my God.
Their fan base is fucking all over it. Okay.
Somebody's ears are burning. Laurie Kilmartin.
Why?
Aria Lynch just Venmoed me. This is for you and Laurie. I listened to everything on Spotify, so I thought I should give you two actual money for your amazing albums.
Oh, that's nice. A couple of people have done that to me, but not enough to move the numbers above 7%.
This is $20, which is $10 each. Aria Lynch, holy shit, during the podcast, the recording.
This a live podcast?
Are you actually?
Are you streaming this?
I'm trying to make us more money.
Oh my God. I have to respond to him right now. I'm responding right now.
By the way, Jackie, I love that while I'm speaking, you're checking your phone. That always makes me feel special as our audience does.
I'm trying desperately to figure out how I find out how many albums I didn't sell. So I was thinking about trying to search through my emails while you were telling me.
They didn't, they emailed me a royalty statement in March, which was nothing. March 30th said, oh, it's all coming in. It takes a while for digital, which by the way, makes no sense because it's digital. It would take a while for cash and handwritten receipts to come in, but you got to know whatever. Okay. Maybe Apple and Amazon hide information. I have no idea. I'm sure they do, but, they didn't send me the royalty. I had to log in and download it and then be an extra step of angry.
Right. Because I was like, well, wait, you didn't send it to me. I mean, how many comics do you have? Are there 7,000 comics and you can't send a royalty statement to every comic? That is amazing. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to go in and then create another password and another user account and then download some bullshit.
You do. It's the stand up as a career is always frustrating. And maybe this is just a blip and things will be better next year. I don't know. I mean, there's always blips, but again,
valleys, plateaus, spikes.
Our listeners to help out with download. And it's not a donation. You're getting a fucking pretty good comedy album. And, we're both you're here for, and here's what we do. And it seems like 2 + 2 = 4 to me, and so disappointing that I just, I was like, we should just take this whole thing behind a paywall. Maybe that's the only way we can actually make money, because if people aren't buying an album we do,
right,
how much free shit can we give away? I know
right.
some people are join Max Fund, which is awesome, and thank you. Some people donate to our Patreon, which is great, thank you. But this is mostly free. Twitter is free. Instagram is free. TikTok is free. You're streaming our shit for free. Apparently, a lot of you.
Right.
What do you want my blood too? Here's my veins. Do you want that too? Like, when do we get to, maybe some of you come to a show, and I wouldn't blame you if you didn't, because of COVID. I feel like we have a more totally understandable conservative audience. So where do we make any money?
Well, the thing is I think we're making as much money as we can with this. I mean, it can be more. You're not wrong. If there's 3,000 people who bought $10 worth of stuff, that's 30 grand, and we would get whatever percentage of that. And for $10 each,
we get
but
about
whatever.
$3 per download, right?
Okay.
So if we had 3,000 people, which I thought I was going to be looking at $8,000 or $9,000.
Okay.
And when it showed -800,
right,
Jackie,
you lost your shit. You really, yeah. And I know why. I would, yes, it would be great if every one of those people bought that. And it would also be great if they would play my shit on the thing. And I know some comics who are sticking it out with 800 because they have back, but they also work the big chains. They work the Improv and the Heliums, and I'm like, well, you can do that because you make 100 grand a year or 80 grand a year just on stand up, right? And I do not. So I'm just trying to, yeah. I mean, the thing is here's what I do. And this is not going to help you at all, which is I try to remain grateful for what I have. And that maybe that's like a classic woman beat myself down kind of just be grateful for what you get bullshit. But I don't know how to have any peace of mind without that.
I agree. I mean, my son is healthy. We have a house where
you live indoors. It's like,
yeah, we're indoors.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything were to happen to him, I wouldn't give a fuck about anything. Right. So it's all good. But at the same time, I cannot tell you how disappointed I was when I opened up that royalty statement.
Right. Here's what I would what if we started, I did the nerd poker, Brian Posehn, he has a D&D podcast with a lot. It's with Earwolf. So I don't know what Earwolf does editing wise or all these things, but they read Patreon, like their names. And we have 252 patrons. And so, I mean, that's what, I don't know. And I like the sticker thing. I don't know how everybody has to switch $10 and above. You'll get stickers in the mail, supposedly, every 3 months. And they will. Even if I have to do it myself, I will fucking mail you these stickers. But so if it's a $10, it's an actual tier for the Jackie and Laurie show. And so, but they have to like, nothing's easy. Is what I'm really annoyed at.
So you'll pay $10 for stickers, but not an album that it took me 8 years, up to 8 years to craft. I don't understand it.
Well, I mean, do you always buy the albums?
For me, I don't listen to a lot of comedy albums.
No, music.
Yeah. If I listen more than once, yeah, I will.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
This is a good way to live your life, because the thing is then you're doing the thing that you're asking people to do.
Yeah.
It takes, if I should do that. I don't do that. I essentially add it to my library on Amazon Prime. But I should just buy the damn thing. It's $10. I have $10. I'm going to listen to it 1,000 times. Yes. let those people get that $3.
Jackie,
So
if you take your album from 800 Pound Gorilla, I thought Sirius required you to be on a record label before they would play it? Does that mean they're not going to play it?
I'll re-up it on CD Baby.
Is the CD Baby a record company?
Yeah, their distribution. It'll work.
Okay.
I don't think Sirius is playing me either. Nobody's playing me.
Yeah, they're playing really old albums. They're playing like bits. I'm like, can we just get that bit off the air? Why is that? That's an old bit, and I hate it.
Right? Why am I talking about
it anymore?
Exactly. Right.
Contrary to my current values. Okay, I grew as an artist. Please.
No shit.
And the album that reflects my current values, it doesn't play. And oh my God.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing. They play my old album, and it turns out I'm better at stand-up comedy now. So yeah. So I will say that I did a weird show, and I carpooled to save gas money. So Dan Telfer, Bill Dwyer, and myself
fun
all went to Palmdale. And yes,
I'm trying to picture it on a map. I know it's east
Lancaster. It's north and east, and it was an hour and a half, almost 2 hours to get there, but it was an hour 10 to get back, as per usual, because it was late at night. And here's what I say and it was a benefit. And a benefit is always poorly run. My ladies and gentlemen, my friends and family, my people, I want you to know that I care about literacy. I care about whatever thing that we're doing a benefit for. Couple of basic rules. Make sure I got a place to park. Make sure that I have a beverage when I fucking walk in the door, where I know where it is. I know where it is.
Standing with water with Jackie, that you don't even have to look them in the eye. You swipe it from their hand like you're a bear grabbing salmon out of the river.
And don't make me stand in line for the food that I may or may not want. How about that?
Yes.
Right. Here's the thing. I can't eat with your people, and that was done correctly.
Right.
But it was a pretty it was a fun benefit, which meant that there was a food truck, which this one doesn't approve of. Nope. Anyway, food truck? No, I'm an adult woman. Let's sit down like Christians and have them I want table service. But at the very least, how about I go to the green room? You say you got a choice between this and this. We're going to go get you those meals. And then they bring them to you. And then it's done. I don't want to stand in line for half an hour, which is what I had to do. And then I got a beeper thing. And then I had to come back in half an hour and pick it up. So, it started an hour late.
Yeah.
As all benefits do.
Right.
So give me an idea of when I'm going to go up. And then, if it pays some sort of honorarium, let's see that. When's that happening? That is yet to happen, is what I'm saying.
Wait, they didn't pay you?
No, he's working.
Were they supposed to?
Yeah, it was supposed to be gas, just like $75.
Right.
So that, but in any case, right? Like if it's like sometimes you do a benefit and it's, and this was. And it was 100 people, if that, maybe 60.
Yeah.
And they were quiet, by the way. Whew, I went last. Anyway, and we were all doing 20s. I accidentally lit Bill Dwyer at 50, and he got the fuck off.
He's like, that feels like 20 to me. Yeah.
I did 20 worth of material. I'm out of here. It was a band setup, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, Adam, who ran it, could not have been a nicer guy. It was perfectly nice.
Yeah.
And he was funny and it was fine. But, and then roast comic from the store. God damn. Alyssa? Dang it. I've forgotten her name. But she literally was great because she was roasty and they were quiet. And so she
I
was
love
busting their chops, busting their chops, busting their chops. And then she told them she was gay, and they kind of shut down on her. And she was like, I don't understand what happened. Okay.
You know what? Lancaster is when that strip of Central California starts and gets real fucking conservative, and they want to
and
kill
weirdo magoos. But it was a literacy benefit. And then
read the Bible, Jackie. To read the Bible.
Okay, but let me tell you this: Dan Telfer then went up and told the world that he was a demisexual, which, as far as I can figure out, just means he's an adult human being who only wants to have sex with
how do they respond if they can't handle regular old vanilla gay?
Right,
I'm guessing Demi S is not not at
ooh, hipster Demi S.
Palmdale's Alley.
Well, and the thing is so he lateral move, talked about sharks and dinosaurs. He's like, fine, if we're gonna be fifth graders, we're gonna talk about fifth grade things.
You always you need to know when to drop the bit and move on to something more palatable for the centrists in the country.
Bill Dwyer went to the vault so hardcore. I was like, I heard you do that. I mean, so did I. I mean, we all did. Nobody got to work on a new bit. Nobody. I tried my I did my mask bit. They were anti-mask. So I was like, we're wrong. Everyone not wearing a mask is wrong. That's all I say, because this is a frickin' petri dish. And it's a great premise. It will one day have punchlines, but the premise is that sometimes I just wear a mask when I want to be alone. Because it's a nice cone of silence, right? Yeah. Anyway, so hey, let's take a quick break. And now we'll come back and let's do the comic of the week, because maybe one of these comics of the week will have us open for them.
Yes. I mean, you don't have to buy our DVDs or CDs or whatever, but Jesus, keep us in the mix in 20 years.
That's it. Or next year.
Yeah, or next year. Yeah, it's like, hey, why am I putting them on my track?
Yeah, you got low headliner money, Aaron Hotel. I'm in. That's all I need. Which, by the way, is a great deal of money. Thank you very much. Okay, but worth every dime. So our comic of the week is
Nour Hadidi.
Nour Hadidi, which I couldn't believe we didn't do her yet.
Yeah, she's hilarious. She's Canadian. She opened for me 3 times, I think, in at JFL last week, and she's so funny.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah. I met her at the comedy bar, a while back. So she's been doing it a while. She produces, she writes, she's smart. It's great. It's Nour Hadidi, Hididi, Nour Hadidi.
Yeah, she writes on a lot of shows in Canada. So I don't know. I mean, if she ever makes her way down here, she has a ton of room.
Don't come now. Already. Now it's a mess down here. You're going to want to get yourself a bunker up in Canada and hide from your own fascists. It's don't come down here.
But the cool thing, so Nour, she's also Jordanian, and you don't know this, I'm sure, but one of the former King Hussein's wives was named Lisa Halaby, I think, and she was American, and her dad was Lebanese, so she spoke perfect Arabic, and she married him. And this is when I was growing up. I would always read about her in my mom's magazine. So I'm like, do you know anything about her name was Queen Nour, but her real name was Lisa. I'm like, do you know anything about Queen Nour? And Nour's head exploded, and then we actually had to go out to dinner so she could give me the entire lay of the land of the Jordanian royal family, including lots of history of the region. And it was really fascinating and fun.
Oh, that's neat. It's so cool when you meet, because comics, it turns out, are people with histories. And if you can find a vein, seriously, it is awesome. The Dork Forest this week is with a comic named CJ Williams. CJ Sullivan. I called him that on the show, by the way. CJ Sullivan, and he is Chicago comic, very funny. Just worked with him last week doing a one of the sets around town, and his dorkdom was gambling, and there was a rabbit hole of the history of him gambling and him gambling too much, and the people that gamble too much and what it looks like. And it's
Jackie, can an addiction be a dorkdom, or is it?
Well,
is
and this is a valid question, because usually it isn't. But I don't think I knew that it was kind of an addiction.
I mean, isn't alcohol your dorkdom?
No, is that it's a medical condition. Maybe if someone has arthritis, they could talk to me about that. And you're right. It is true. It would be a weird thing for people to come on if their addiction was the thing, like sex and love. What was it? No, I know it. What's his face, who I love dearly, did marijuana and sex. And it was
someone claimed sex was their dorkdom. Jackie, you were desperate for a guest that week. Let's be honest. That's why we don't have
spacing his name.
We don't have to go through this.
I'm spacing his name, but you know him. Sacramento comic, black, super groovy.
Del Van Dyke, Mo Betterman,
a man.
Yes, and I know. Those are both men I was talking about, but I'm not up to date on my Sacramento comics. I mean,
right, but back in the day,
generation from Sacramento that I don't know they're from Sacramento.
He's from our generation, and he told me he wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And Ngaio. It's Ngaio.
Oh, Ngaio. Oh.
It's Ngaio Beelum. And
he's from Sacramento?
Well, I always think of him as a Sacramento comic. Is he more of a San Francisco comic?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so sorry, Ngaio. Ngaio, by the way, I mentioned that was his dorkdom when we saw each other at the Throckmorton a couple of years ago. And he was like, please don't tell my current girlfriend that my dorkdom was sex. Anyway, but I was like, you had to convince me that these were dorky topics. And he did, because he opened his freaking trunk and he had 35 different varieties of marijuana in it. And he told me,
yeah, he has always been like that since day one. He was always an upbeat, positive, he loves pot guy from day one. There's no one else like him for a long time. Now there's a lot of people like him.
Right. And his sex dorkdom, might I add, was that like one of the stories he told on the Dork Forest podcast with him was how his favorite thing to do is one night stands, but with a woman who is stone cold sober. He likes it, that's the project. that's the task. And I was like, you have got to have like a silver tongue and like the best, because I used to get laid, but absolutely never sober. I was like, if I'm going to take my life into my own hands, I'm going to be shit-faced drunk. That's what I say.
Gotcha. That's what I mean. That is a male privilege, is to like and pursue one night stands and not worry you're going to be raped and murdered.
Moidered.
Must be nice, guys. Must be nice.
Right.
But listen, this is dangerous. Lisa Halaby, Queen Nour's son, who's half American, is held in house arrest by his half brother, who's taken the crown. It's a lot of shit going on in the current Jordanian family. And listen, I'm obsessed with the British royal family, but it's craziness over there.
Right.
Yeah,
that does sound like craziness. Wow, do I not care about monarchies? But they do make pretty houses usually, right?
Yes.
Your kings, your emperors, your queens. Did you know that the current Queen of England is a man? Did you hear about that one?
No, Jackie. She's the queen consort. She's not the queen. I mean, she's the queen to people like you who don't actually delve into the.
No, I'm actually talking about Charles.
Minutia.
I'm talking about Charles. That's what that was. That was a weird lateral. Anyway, I'll be over here. Are you working this week?
Yeah. So Saturday I'm gonna fly to Milwaukee because I'm doing a show Sunday night at a theater at the Milwaukee Comedy Festival.
Right.
But I was afraid to fly out on Sunday because
flights.
I mean, there's no direct flight to Milwaukee.
There is not.
No. So the odds of missing a flight are pretty high. So I'm doing that, leaving on Saturday afternoon, and that's the big show. And then just doing a few things. I'm doing Jetpack on Friday, and hopefully pick up a couple more spots earlier this week. I'm doing oh wait, there's a show called In Unit Laundry, and I got they kept emailing me, and for some reason I just saw the subject header, and I'm like, oh, is this from one of my Street Easy searches?
Right.
So I just kind of didn't respond for a while. Anyway, I'm doing that at the Lyric on Tuesday night. So come down for that if you want.
Yeah. I don't have any. I got nothing. It's Sunday. Tomorrow's Monday. I don't have anything. Tuesday, I did the Zoom. I did the KO Zoom. That was super fun. I do love a Zoom show, man. I want to just do, because here's what I like about Zoom shows. Before I digress and tell you that I'm going to Minneapolis on the 7th and everyone should buy a ticket to it because it's my wedding anniversary on the 8th and I won't be home for it.
Oh.
Anyway, so and I asked Andy because it's 10,000 Lakes. Here's a humiliating fun fact. 10,000 Laughs is the name of the comedy festival in Minneapolis. And I thought that David Rodriguez said that it would pay $10,000. And so I said to Andy, for $10,000, I'm going to go to Minneapolis on our anniversary. Do you want to come? And he said, yes, please go. I don't know that I can come because I have school, but because he's got teaching. But and then I found out that it just pays more. And then I was like, am I still doing it? And he goes, yes, we'll still be married on Monday. So that's the good news. We don't have to freak out about that. But I did KO comedy and Zoom comedy. What I like about Zoom comedy is that you could try premises.
Yeah.
And you could try punchlines and early stuff. And it doesn't feel like it's burning it. Like the people who come to see me now are like, I went to every Zoom show for 16 months. I was so glad to see that joke again. And I was like, well, I'm so happy for us because I have to tell that joke again. And you came anyway. So we both win. And this week, so I'm flying into Minneapolis on Tuesday. And then I'm driving to Milwaukee because there is no direct flight. And I'm going to need a car. So my sister's going to lend me a car in Minneapolis. I'm going to drive to Milwaukee, hang out, see my dad, my brothers, and get to see my brother Phil's place. He's got a farm now and an Airbnb thing that he built, him and his new wife. And then, so I'm going to drive back and then just do shows. I think it's the 7th and 8th. I'll be in Minneapolis. But I would go.
We'll be kind of close. We'll be on the same time zone this weekend.
I know. And but I was hoping that I would know whoever was working at Comedy on State on Wednesday through Friday, and I don't. I don't. And you're gonna tell me I know him, but he looks like David Radcliffe, which is
Daniel Radcliffe.
He looks like Daniel Radcliffe, an actor that I should know the name of.
Okay.
Moses Storm.
Oh, I was about to guess Moses.
Yeah, he's the one. I
believe that you know Moses.
I'm sure I know Moses.
Super nice.
He looks incredibly nice.
Yeah. Great guy.
I hope he's very successful, but I don't know him well enough to ask for a guest spot. Like 2 weeks from there, Gulman's there. I might ask for it. I don't know. But yeah, and I think he doesn't show up till Thursday. So maybe it's an open mic or a local show on Wednesday. Maybe I could pick up a set at the State, at Comedy on State.
Wait, but you're in Milwaukee, you're in Minneapolis, not Madison.
No, I'm in Milwaukee on Tuesday. I drive to Milwaukee on Tuesday from Minneapolis. So Wednesday and Thursday nights, I'm going to be in Milwaukee. So Wednesday or Thursday nights, I conceivably could drive the hour and a half, hour 15 to Madison and do a set and come home and still play Jaws with my nephews and my sister-in-law. It could still happen. Yeah.
Yes. I will be the following weekend, the weekend of the 14th and 15th.
Yeah.
I'll be in New York City doing.
That's doing the stand, doing
mostly
spots.
The stand and maybe like one super late one at Greenwich Village. But it'll be all stand, like spots each night.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is awesome.
Because it's just upstairs. Yeah. That's great. The 5th, I believe it's the 15th. I'm doing the Plano, Texas comedy festival.
Cool.
And then I think the following month I'm doing, I think in November, it's the Austin Altercation, which is funny. There's a comedy festival in Austin that JT Haberstadt is running, and it's called Altercation, which is funny because that's what I was going to call my album. And I called it Staycation.
Altercation. Got
Yep.
it. Oh my God, Jackie.
I called
don't stop with you, honestly.
Right. And I may spend the rest of my life just punning off of cation. Let's do another break.
Okay. This is like been a watershed week in terms of I had this project a couple years ago where I had hundreds of VHS tapes.
Yeah.
And I slowly converted them all to digital, right? And then I was like, I can't do this anymore, right?
Right.
And I had a shitload of DVDs.
Right.
And I just was postponing it, and I started it like 2 weeks ago, and now every single set I have that's recorded is now digitized, going back to 87 or 88. Some
dude.
Like,
that's huge.
It is huge. It's all on one hard drive that I can't lose. No, I put it in a safe, but I also need to back that hard drive up.
Back it up hardcore.
Other places. But I don't know what I'm going to do with it just yet, with all this, like, now that it's finally there, it's I don't know, I can just go through and grab little jokes and throw them up and stuff like that to let people know how old I am. I don't know what to do. What I did have this idea is doing a little thing with my son, where a TikTok with my son, like a little series where I show him jokes about him and then he responds.
Ooh, rebuttal time. Finally.
Exactly.
Now he is of an age where he would get to do rebuttal.
Yes.
That is awesome. Actually, I think that's hilarious. I would watch that. I think I follow you on TikTok. If I don't, it's a crime.
I think it's, here's the thing. It's not obviously if I really leaned in heavy with video stuff, that would really help me. It's just not my first nature. Unlike you're very easily, I'm hotel art, you're having a good time. I don't have a good time doing that. I sit there and I look at my nose, or I look at various things, then I'm like, let me reshoot this. Let me get better light. And now it's been 2 hours. I'm still unsatisfied. And it's like, why am I doing this? I can't enjoy video like I do.
It's interesting that you think that I'm having fun. What
You
this
are
means is that I should be an actress. Because just think, because it's exhausting. I mean, it is. I mean, I here's the thing: is we have different personalities.
Yes.
And so I know that I have to do this. So I'm just like, well, get some fucking fun out of it. And but we all know that the most fun in the whole wide world is with the it on stage.
Yes.
That's what I want to do. I want to do the stand-up comedy. The rest of it, where I spend hours every day clipping clips and making, like, I just posted another Dork Forest with CJ Sullivan, and I'm like, okay, well, crop it down to just his head and then caption it and then put it on TikTok. And I've given up on YouTube Shorts because I keep forgetting it exists.
It's hateful.
Even though people like YouTube Shorts.
It
is, yeah, I'm told. All I know is I'm told because my nephew, Michael Cation, keeps saying, well, do you know who Bert Kreischer is? And I'm like, I don't like you. Yes, I know who Bert Kreischer is. Why is he your favorite comic? Why is Tom Segura your favorite comic? Why do you love Ari Shaffir? Why is Eddie Pepitone your favorite dude? I'm like, these guys are all Skankfest dudes that are not for me. I want Tom Segura and Eddie Pepitone to run, I don't know, into the sea, anywhere to get away from the Joe Rogan douches. And I like Bert Kreischer too, and Ari Shaffir thinks we're friends, but he's a really mean comic, and I don't mind. I mean, I'll talk to him. If he's not talking to me about drugs or sex, I will totally talk to you, Ari Shafir. Yes, but we don't have a lot in common.
True.
And so, do you think that this clip could be the clip that gets me canceled? And then I don't know.
No,
because
what'll
I named a
happen
bunch
is
of comics.
people go, "Oh, I heard what you said, Laurie." And I'm like, no, that's Jackie. Those are Jackie's opinions. They always get put on me. Okay. You're the one that goes off, and then you drag me down to the bottom of the lake with you.
Oh, everybody wants to book you, and then they just say to me, "When's Laurie coming?"
No, they don't.
So,
I have mountains of open weeks.
oh,
and
right.
No CD money, no album money to carry me through the holidays. Don't think I've forgotten just because I only spent the first half hour talking about it. Off my brain. It's not, it never will be. Never.
I jumped through 1900 hoops to register my bank account or PayPal or somebody, Venmo, with Reels and with TikTok. And this week, I literally got tens and tens of dollars from both of them.
So are they holding on to money until people like if
register?
Like, yeah. Yes. Or they, okay.
And we're talking, here's you guys, transparency. It's super important to me. When it's a nickel, I guess. I don't know, but it's not no money. I mean, are you kidding me? Talk about grocery money. Reels sent me $364. And TikTok sent me $290.
Okay.
You know what that is? Not no money. That is actual cash that I can take to the grocery store and say to myself, I would like to buy another chicken. Anyway, go ahead.
They do. See, I'm not comfortable giving my bank account information
to China. Why? What don't you like about that?
So how is TikTok paying you? Did they dump it in a bank? Did they send it a check?
They sent it to PayPal, and then PayPal, I sent it from PayPal to my bank account.
Okay. All right. I mean, PayPal was, I don't know.
They already have all my information. So
yeah.
I know. I'm desperately trying to hire someone to do landscaping. Speaking of spending money, I want someone to help me do the guy who cuts our lawn every week, who is I guess our gardener. Yes. And we don't have a lot of lawn because we live in a desert and I don't want to pay for grass. But there is a ground cover that's drought resistant that I want to plant, but I can't figure it. And I went to my garden center and they made fun of me and they said, don't plant it now. We're in a heat wave, but you could just buy it from us and plant it. And I was like, no, I want to pay someone. And they're like, you remember when we were, because they're of Japanese descent and their mom was, they're like,
oh, I know. Is it Setu or?
It's Sego.
They're great. Yeah, I like that.
Their mocking is almost like hanging out with you.
It is.
Yeah, it is incessant.
I have milkweed that
Dean sold you.
First of all, I'm like, are the neighbors coming and cutting off the milkweed because they don't like my abortion sign? And then I'm like, that's a little too much. It's probably a rodent. It's got to be I don't know what it is. I tried to set up a critter cam. I couldn't make it work. I sent it back. I don't know what's doing it. It's like these cuts. It comes for the milkweed, and supposedly it's really dangerous for rodents, but someone's doing it. Something is doing it.
Right. Something's doing it. They don't care if it's dangerous.
And they were like, no, it's not. I'm like, yeah, it is. I actually had an argument with the guy. But I still like him because he's feisty.
Yeah. Right. They're all great. You know that Andy's dad lived, and his widow still lives in Arkansas. And I mentioned that to the mom, and she goes,
what?
That he lived in Arkansas. And she goes, oh, that was the internment camp I was in during World War II.
Wow.
Yeah. She was like, I will never go back to Arkansas. Thank you very much. And she said, and they took away Sago. They had it since 1912. So they took away the business and then they had to rebuild it. And so Sago Nursery, you guys.
I grew up with a family in our neighborhood. They were great swimmers, and the parents were born in Japan and the kids were born here. the parents were little kids and they were in the Manzarita, I think it's the one in Southern California.
Wow.
I mean, like I knew that, like you heard, like we knew it as a kid, like, oh wow,
I
that
never
sucks.
heard it. That's a California thing for sure.
Yeah, but you can't even imagine how bad that was, you know, to be scooped up and taken and put in these camps. And it's
in America,
the nicest people, nicest.
Right.
Just
well, I read some, and this is just lateral, but a bunch of like the last survivors of the Holocaust, the German genocide.
I'm aware, yes.
Right, but they were little kids when it happened, and so all of their memories of being taken to Auschwitz and all these places were their neighbors turning them in, their friends, the kids at school. So like the adults, like the stories from 40 years ago were all people who were taken as adults and happened and lived through it.
Right.
And they were like, well, the government came, well, the police came, well, the soldiers came. These people are like, no, the kids at school turned me in.
Wow.
And you're like, constant vigilance, my friends, constant vigilance. Anyway, I want to do more stand-up. And I would like more money, but we got to love the fact that in the middle of this, that guy in Venmo sent me that $10.
Yeah,
Ario Lynch.
I gave you my full focus and didn't look on my phone during the podcast, Jackie, so I wouldn't know.
I know, it's so beautiful that you do that. And what's annoying is the fact that Venmo, which is owned by PayPal, has also instituted is this for a product? Are you paying someone for a service? Because we want a taste of that. Talk about the VIG, right, CJ Sullivan? Huh? Come on.
I think the IRS is demanding 1099s and stuff like that. It's an IRS thing. I mean, I don't know if Venmo's taking a percentage, but
they do if you say it's not a gift.
Well, just choose your emojis well, guys, when you're saying what it's for. It's
always, right. Just don't tick that thing. Don't tick that thing, and then on PayPal, always tick friends and family, because the default takes the money out.
Yeah.
PayPal, you have to say that's friends and family. So whenever I pay anybody, and I 1099 Patrick Brady, and we 1099 Kyle, so it's not like, but Kyle deserves all the money, right? He's going to pay taxes on it, but because we're not anti-tax, it's just I'm anti-giving it to PayPal. Really? Yes.
What if all of our listeners are IRS agents? That's why they didn't buy the DVD.
Why they
waiting for you to
and the albums,
Jackie.
Well, I can't. I don't know what to do. All I know is I'm psyched to see
doing this podcast with you.
Good.
But I don't enjoy constant, like, can we fucking make a profit off of anything? That's what's really frustrating. And is there a way to do this podcast differently where we make more money from it?
And right. I mean, I mean, the thing is it's not a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to reassure you except for to say that I like doing this. And I think that we do provide a service to the younger comics and stuff by sort of, you guys, you're not alone. We too are irritated and angry. That's
but if you just listen to our archives, everything will remain the same. There will always be a new rapist, there will always be a new pedophile that no one believes that will still get work. Like nothing will change, and our podcast will be relevant. You just switch out the names 50 years from now. We actually don't have to do any new ones.
Okay, so where are we at here, Kyle?
I was literally about to text or message we're going to go.
All right, goodbye.